Hello. After the Sermon on the Mount, I don't think I need this on. After the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus and his disciples were walking back toward Capernaum. And Jesus began to explain to them, dropping hints that he was going to have to suffer great things. And he was just dishing it out a little bit at a time. Well, the disciples still didn't understand that he was talking about a kingdom that was not of this world. They were still thinking about getting out from under the thumb of the Roman rulers. And they began arguing about positions they wanted in the new government. And Jesus was listening to them. They're thinking of, president, vice president, senators, House representative. They're thinking all of these things about the new government that Jesus is going to bring in. And Jesus said, fellas, you just don't get it. He said, I just got done telling you, I'm going to have to suffer and even die. He said, you remember that Jonah was 3 days in the belly of the great fish? And then he went to Nineveh and preached like the Lord wanted him to. He said, even so must I be in the belly of the earth for 3 days, but I will rise again. Well, they still didn't get it. They thought, well, okay, they just couldn't put it together. They were still thinking earthly kingdom. And so on the way, Jesus found a little child. In fact, there were some children playing there. And he said, come here, buddy. And he sat down on something alongside the road. And he sat down. And he said, come here, little guy. Come sit on my knee. So the little boy came and sat on Jesus' lap. And he started talking to his disciples. And he said, I tell you that unless your minds become innocent like this little child, you'll have no part even in the kingdom of heaven. He was kind of disturbed that they wanted to be somebody in the government. And he said, no, that's not the point at all. And he said, unless you have the faith and the mind of a little child, you cannot see the kingdom of heaven. And then he went on to say, then the people were bringing other children around to him too, because when Jesus stops, everybody else notices. And he said, in fact, I tell you that if any one of you or anybody out here leads one of these little children astray, it's better that a millstone be hung around his neck and he be thrown into the sea. And Jesus was really serious about having a heart of a child, and that being the heart of innocence, and not trying to strive for power and greatness. And I'm afraid that's what's happening so much in our world today. People in all walks of life, they want to be somebody. And Jesus said, that's not the point. Unless you humble yourself as a little child and trust me, put your trust in me, and I will lift you up. But I don't want you to try and lift yourselves up. So that was a good lesson that Jesus taught them. Even his disciples had to learn that lesson. Plus they learned a new thing that they hadn't thought of before. He said something about going under torturous trials and dying. That's the first time they heard about that one too. So we'll go on from there next time. Bye-bye.